Many people are surprised to find out when I tell or show them that you can quite easily convert the caliber of a Beretta 92 series handgun, albeit with a few caveats. To demonstrate this, I have these two handguns in front of you. On the right is a Beretta Model 96D Centurion chambered in caliber 40 Smith & Wesson. On the left is a Beretta Model 92X Compact chambered in caliber 9x19 Parabellum. I'm currently disassembling both handguns so that I can replace the barrel of the 96 Centurion with the 9mm barrel of the 92X Compact. I'm also going to utilize a full-size 9mm magazine in the 96D, and then we're going to see what happens. As you can see, the firearm successfully fired off all 10 rounds of 9mm through what was originally a 40 Smith & Wesson gun. The slide even locked back on the last round. So now that I've shot some rounds early in this video to boost viewer retention, let me show you what I meant when I said caveats. The key differences between the 96 and 92 slides are that, to accommodate the slightly larger diameter of the 40 Smith & Wesson cartridge, the 96 has a slightly larger breech face and shorter extractor than the 9mm. A 40 slide and 40 extractor are two separate parts from their 9mm equivalents with two different part numbers and different specifications. Theoretically, this can lead to poorer reliability than using the correct slide with the correct barrel, as the extractor does not grip the round as tightly as it should. As I demonstrated, however, the 96 slide is capable of running 9mm and, in my experience, quite reliably. With that said, it's up to you to test your own firearms and to decide whether you would trust this for more than just range use. I've personally carried this handgun in this configuration several times. Of course, to completely alleviate this issue, you can swap the entire slide assembly of the 9mm gun onto the 40 Smith & Wesson gun, as I'll demonstrate now. From my own experience and what I can gather from the experiences of others, this seems to run just as reliably as any factory 9mm gun. In fact, Beretta sold a 96-92 combo kit in this exact configuration for a number of years. In that kit, you would get a 96 frame and two complete slide assemblies, one in 40 caliber and one in 9mm. If Beretta was willing to put their reputation behind this configuration like that, I would be inclined to believe it's reliable. There is one condition when swapping calibers which will lead to significantly less reliability. That is, running 9mm in 40 Smith & Wesson magazines. Hence why, in both instances of me demonstrating, I was using 9mm magazines. The reason for that is mainly because 40 caliber magazines and followers are slightly different than the 9mm magazines and won't hold the bullets at the correct angle for feeding. This will lead to sporadic failures to feed and possibly other malfunctions. I would only use 9mm in 40 Smith & Wesson magazines under very rare circumstances. Now the next question that some of you are asking is, can I change my 9mm to 40 Smith & Wesson? The answer to that is yes. However, it's not nearly as straightforward as going from the 40 Smith & Wesson to 9mm. For one, as stated previously, the 9mm slide's breech face and extractor are smaller than its 40 caliber equivalents and will not function properly with the larger round. It will also require the more rare and expensive 40 caliber magazines, as the 9mm magazines are, once again, too small. Another problem you run into is the frame. Notice how the feed ramp of the 40 caliber is larger than that of the 9mm? This is to aid in feeding the larger cartridge. You would need to permanently modify the frame by widening this feed ramp to match the 96 specifications. The ejector is also shaped different, though it's not clear if this has any meaningful impact on reliability. Notice also that this handgun has the straight dust cover. Beretta specifically moved away from this in the year 2000 to alleviate frame cracking in the 40 Smith & Wesson guns. If you'd like to see the differences between these two styles of frames, I recommend watching my video titled Beretta Frame Styles. It should also pop up in the top right of this video and be linked in the description. For me personally, another thing I consider is that while the Beretta 92 is a durable pistol, something common sense wise simply feels wrong about taking a pistol designed to fire a weaker cartridge and then forcing it to fire a more powerful cartridge. Remember, the Beretta 92 was designed in 1975, which is 15 years before 40 Smith & Wesson was conceived or became any sort of standard. With all of that said, I will not be demonstrating converting this 9mm gun into 40 Smith & Wesson, as I believe it would cause undue stress on the frame. In fact, I don't normally fire 40 Smith & Wesson out of my 96 either. These older 96s that are essentially the same gun as the 92, but hastily retrofitted to accept 40 Smith & Wesson, are a thing of the past. And that's not just my opinion. It seems to be Beretta's official stance. The only 40 Smith & Wesson gun that Beretta sells today, based off the Model 92, is the Beretta Model 96A1, which is specifically redesigned to address all of the issues of the older 96s concerning frame life. This is a Beretta Model 92A1. It's very similar to the 96A1 except it's chambered in 9mm, but can still be used to illustrate the improvements. It features a wider contact patch between the slide and frame, a wider, stronger frame in general, and a sacrificial buffer that bears the brunt of the impact rather than the frame itself. Before this video gets too long-winded, I will add by saying that there are other chamberings and conversions for the 92, but I unfortunately don't have the ability to demonstrate that. In Italy and other countries, there's the Beretta Model 98, which is the exact same gun as the 92, but instead of being chambered in 9x19 Parabellum, it's chambered in 9x21. There are also Beretta 98s which were made in 7.65 Parabellum, also known as 30 Luger. These guns are very rare here in the US, but I am of the understanding that to swap between 9x19, 9x21, and 30 Luger, all that's required is a barrel change, as they all share the same parent cartridge and have similar case heads. The last caliber conversion of note is 357 SIG. However, that is a conversion which requires custom gunsmithing work and is by no means an easy swap or drop-in conversion. With that said, it is beyond the scope of this video. If you're interested in that conversion, I suggest doing your own research. I'd like to end this video with a couple guidelines for anyone wishing to convert their Beretta 92 series pistol to a different caliber. 1. Start with a Beretta Model 96, preferably a Model 96A1, then the only parts required are a 9mm barrel and 9mm magazines. And 2, for the best reliability, swap the entire slide assembly rather than just swapping the barrel and magazines.